jumping in as much as he's not jumping in like come on, bro, pay attention to it. He's not jumping in like he was. Yeah, come on. Hey, we gotta go.
That's a bad man. That was boxing pound for pound number 1, Terence Crawford. Angel Dundee moment with Bomac in the corner heading to the 10th round, right before he knocked out Shawn Porter, which makes the win even more impressive. That was Terence Crawford's own version of Sugar Ray Leonard. You blowing it, kid. You blowing it. When he was losing to Tommy Hearns. The only major difference is that Terence Crawford was actually winning. I had him winning on my scorecard. In fact, I scored the fight exactly how all of the 3 judges scored the fight. I gave the 2nd round to Crawford, the 4th, and after the 5th round, Crawford pretty much took over. That's when Crawford started to win every single round. Yeah, some of the rounds were competitive, but Terence Crawford clearly did enough to win them rounds. With that being stated, now where Crawford was actually down was the unofficial scorecard, similar to Tank versus Barrios situation. So on ESPN, shockingly, Andre Ward had Showtime Shawn Porter winning. He had Shawn Porter up on the scorecard before the stoppage. Now listen, Andre Ward is one of the best to ever do it. Inside of the ring, he's one of the GOATs, no doubt about it. But when it comes to scoring fights, he gotta do better. I mean, he terrible at it. This have been a pattern for Andre Ward. He had Ramirez comfortably ahead of Postal. He had Oscar Valdez comfortably winning against Robson when that was a robbery, and many more bad scoring, which he has to really be careful because he is influencing the public. Nevertheless, thanks to Andre Ward, he motivated Terence Crawford to go out there and do something no one came even close to accomplishing, which is stop Shawn Porter. This win couldn't have gotten any bigger, but it just did. It's not just who Crawford beat, a fighter who has the best resume in boxing today, but it's more so how he beat him. As an amateur, Shawn Porter beat Usyk, who's currently the heavyweight champion of the world today. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford moved up 3 weight divisions and still managed to knock out Shawn Porter. Like I said before, what Terence Crawford is capable of, he's really not human. He's a Saiyan. I'm just saying. Go back and listen to Bomac in the corner after the 5th round. He told Crawford, raise the level of intensity. That's when Crawford went out there and did exactly that. Not a round later, I'm talking about the next round. Terence Crawford went out there and put a separation between him and Shawn Porter in the 6th round. He kept that same pace to the 8th round. Then in the 9th round, Bomac told Crawford again, raise the level of intensity even more. Put it on him, which Crawford went out there on some Goku shit, excuse my language, but transformed to a Super Saiyan. He went Super Saiyan on Shawn Porter. I mean, he completely dominated the 9th round. That was the first round where there was a clear separation. It looked like Crawford had his number. That's when I was convinced that Terence Crawford is a Saiyan. I'm sitting back watching the fight live like, this fight was 50-50 early. It was so competitive. And Bomac over here telling Crawford, raise your power level up. Turn to Super Saiyan. And he goes out there and do it. Every time Bomac told Crawford something similar to that in the corner, Crawford separated himself even more and more from Shawn Porter. Now what put icing on the cake is when Bernie told Crawford, they got you down on the scorecard, on the unofficial. That's when Terence Crawford went ultra instinct with his killer instinct on Shawn Porter. You can see the fire in his eyes. He wasted little to no time to walk up on Shawn, then stopped him. That was legendary. I remember leading up to the fight, Terence Crawford was taking jabs at Errol Spence leading up to the Porter fight for not being a finisher. He was making fun of the fact that Errol Spence hurt Shawn Porter, dropped Shawn Porter, but couldn't finish Shawn Porter. And ironically, Terence Crawford dropped Shawn Porter in the same round Errol Spence did, in the 10th round. However, unlike Errol Spence, he dropped Shawn Porter again with ease, knocking him out in the process where Kenny saved his son from Crawford finishing Shawn on some Mortal Kombat. This fight was advertised as Hagler-Hearn, and the fight sure delivered in a different way, showing that Crawford is different. He belongs to a different era, the golden era, the Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler-Hearn, Duran. There is no doubt about it. Terence Crawford is like the Sugar Ray Leonard of our era, and he does have the fabulous 4 dancing partners of his era to dance with. And last but not least, the leverage and the angles Terence Crawford throws punches from. With the power he generates, he's like a technical version of Prince Nassim Hamid. It's really a thing of art. This man is special. He has the mindset, the attitude, the hard work and dedication, the speed, the power, the IQ, the footwork, the best finisher in boxing, having the killer instinct, versatile, a switch hitter. I mean, the attributes just go on and on and on. He's more than a completed fighter. This man is so gifted, it's almost like he has a cheat code. With the facts being laid out, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace. I'm on to the next one.
A lot of fighters underestimate his power. The kid is strong as an ox. He can punch. He's powerful in both hands, and he can punch with power at different angles. Just ask the last 7 opponents, he knocked out every last one of them. He definitely got some power in his punch. The smack you in your mouth Porter that we're thinking that's going to come, Terence is definitely going to be ready for that type of style. He's going to adjust on the fly. He's going to adjust from round by round. He's going to adjust to get the job done. Maybe even get the stoppage.
Ain't no stopping us.